covered? This particular slide was done or not?
Experiential learning techniques.
Is this slide covered yesterday? Or should I start with T groups and move on with the third unit?
So you have covered experiential learning. That one you have covered last. Yesterday you have covered experiential learning techniques.
Sensitivity training also I have told you.
Yes, sir, this is covered. This was covered.
Role of instructor?
Yes, sir. From this slide, you can start.
See, each and every training program which is unique in nature, be it for behavior, be it for knowledge, be it for developing your skills, there is a different set of instructions, a different role that the trainer has to, undergo. So it is again in accordance with your objectives of the training which is to be provided, the nature of the training, be it knowledge, if there is a knowledge enhancement training that is to be provided, then either the expert has to come from outside who is well versed in that particular technical skills. The guy or trainer may be an expert. If it's a skill-based training, the person can be taken from in-house. Whereas when it is for ability training, both in-house as well as experts from outside can be hired. So what is our budget? Where we are looking? What is the nature of the training? Everything has to be covered. Role of the instructor: the instructor is responsible for creating an environment with time and space barriers where the learning can take place. So basically an environment which is conducive for learning, and learning especially it is different for adult learners because we have to see to it, or it is earlier we have covered that the adult learners are different from the children. They cannot be forced to learn, so it has to be done voluntarily. The environment has to be conducive enough, and there are certain other considerations that need to be undertaken by the instructor so that the objective of the training program is achieved. He should focus on discussion for constructive purposes. So, for example, I have always insisted in my class that there has to be a discussion mode when we are covering a particular chapter or a particular topic. Why? Because when we are discussing something, I am going to get to understand a lot of your ideas. I'm going to, if there is a, discussion, then through mutual exchange of ideas, we can get to understand the concept much better. Next is he helps the participants to see cause. He allows participants cause of why a particular problem is happening. He allows participants to form their own conclusions, or they can again analyze why a problem is being, why a certain problem is happening. The role is to draw out from participants behavioral data, feelings accompanying them. The and the person must guard against being too directive, too clinical, or emotionally involved. Directive means if basically in a situation, if a instructor instructs a lot, then the thing is, I am, not giving that much autonomy for the learning process to happen. If the person is directing or the trainer is directing the training always, then the trainee is not having that autonomy to perform the task on their own. Clinical basically means when I diagnose the problem too much, I look too deep into it. Say if there's a behavioral issue and I continuously, as a trainer, I'm going to address the issue. Please don't do this, or this is how you should proceed. The person's confidence level is going to be hampered. If the training is happening, say for example, it's not a one-to-one training, but there are a lot of other people who are also present in that training. I am going to, be overtly, overly uh, criticizing my training, or I'm going to observe that particular person or the training in a very detailed manner. So what will happen is the person or the trainee is going to feel disappointed and dissatisfied. Okay, and I as a trainer should not be emotionally involved, because if I'm going to be biased, then the learning process itself is not going to be done. Biasness cannot be there. I cannot be emotionally involved because somebody is struggling. No, they have to learn on their own. Yes, I'm going to show how the particular training process is done or how learning is happening. But I cannot push an individual when the individual is struggling. The individual has to make the effort on their own, or otherwise the training has no purpose. The trainer is hypothesis maker. What is a hypothesis maker? What is hypothesis?
A statement of probability of
Yes,
any
and
incident.
encouraging participants to examine these hypotheses. Why we are going to encourage participants to, examine hypothesis? Hypothesis in general words means what? A conclusion, a probability of certain
Different
happening.
conclusion.
Yes, and a set of conclusions. If you are going to be trained, if there is a training, module that has been done, so hence the productivity increase will be so and so. Hence the confidence level increase will be so and so. There are certain kind of conclusions. Why participants are allowed to, ponder over such conclusions? Why? Because see, the participant or the trainee has to again decide and prioritize what is their ultimate goal in this particular training program. If it is to develop themselves, if it is to, constructively come up with, ideas as well as a learning program which is going to enhance their abilities, then yes, that is a positive. But
Sir,
continue. Yes.
sir, we must guard against being too directive, clinical, or emotionally involved.
See, if I am going to be too directive, direct means I am going to identify as a person. Clinical is when I'm going to diagnose something. Directive is if I'm going to always give you direction. If is there going to be a learning from the side of the trainee? Say
No,
clinical
sir.
means I am going to say you do not have the aptitude of learning. That is a negative statement. But whereas if I can say yes, right now your aptitude is not up to mark, but through practice, confidence level will increase and you are going to catch up. So those are encouraging statements which are going to boost the morale. See, I cannot, be providing as a trainer. My job is to see to it that the morale level and the confidence level doesn't fall. Otherwise, the process of the learning is going to be, negative, and the outcome of the training will be the person who is already demotivated, or a person who is not able to learn. The person is going to be again having that negative productivity, so that is not good. Next is emotionally involved. I see someone who is struggling, I cannot push that person in any ho jayega aa jao. Okay, no. If the person is struggling, let the person be given that independence to learn on his own. Learn from our mistakes. That statement means I am going to make mistakes and I am going to learn on my own. And hopefully, through my proper learning, I am going to make less mistakes on the job. Clear?
Yes, sir.
To all of my friends who are listening, Unit 4 is all about, your templates and all that. I will be giving you material. Role of the instructor, there is one Word PDF, Word document I'll be providing you. Today I will provide everything. So I'll be sending it to madam as well as one of your friends who has, contacted me through email. Both ma'am as well as your friend will be sharing it in your group. I'll ask one of friends to do it. Today I'll be completing this slide. Fourth, go through the fourth unit, whatever material I'll be sending. If there is an issue, then please tell me. I'll try to cover it because next I have only 3 more classes to cover. So kindly, module 4, I will only be providing the materials. Module 5 is crucial. Module 4, module 3, I'll be rushing through. So module 5, we have to concentrate just like module 2. You just, both these modules are crucial. Next is T groups. T groups, I said yesterday, T groups and sensitivity learning are, the same. T groups lead to understanding of the self, contribute towards organizational change and development through training in attitudinal changes in the participants and creating better teamwork. So basically, what is this? What do we learn from this first para or from the first few lines? It is an individual attitudinal development, or when I'm talking about, yesterday I said behavioral model technique. One of the techniques is T group, sensitivity training, so on and so forth. They are the same thing, but named in different. They are synonymous in nature. So T groups, the basic purpose of T groups is they can often become venues for catharsis to pent up emotions and maintaining a sense of temporary well-being. So basically, when I'm clubbing together a group of people in an from a office, and we are going to sit them down in a circle, and they're going to have general discussion, no official discussion. So within those discussions, there will be a time when frustrations will be, you know, the outcome will be frustration between the members of those group, and eventually when the dust settles, there will be some kind of understanding between them. Am I clear? Do you understand this?
Sir, then T group is generally to develop the attitude of them.
To develop the interpersonal skills through behavioral modeling. Attitude is, again, I basically need to be a person who can, have a positive frame of mind while doing. Yes, obviously it is attitude. If my attitude or if my behavior suggests otherwise, it is going to reflect on my productivity. And if my attitude is a hindrance for effective coordination between different peers who are working in different departments, then it is obviously going to affect the organization. Am I clear or not? Does anybody have a doubt?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, if this is the specific objective of T groups, it's productive. Why it is productive? As I said, when I, let go of my frustrations, I am actually reducing the level of stress. Anger in and anger out. Anger in is what I have kept inside me for years. Once the anger is let go, let forth, then the stress level of the individual, the stress level of the individual is obviously going to reduce, and eventually there will be some understanding between the group members and compromise. Basically, we are looking at compromise where we can again redevelop, start from zero to develop our interpersonal skills. Okay, they are grouped into so and so. Next, let's go.
Sir, then T group process is one kind of counseling session, so that one person can be relieved from his stress
Kindly,
and
sir, don't read into this, family cousin group. That is a counseling session only when the family is involved. But in
okay.
our official official environment, we do not call it as counseling thing. We call it as training. Like
Okay.
sensitivity, we are sensitizing. Yesterday, I had said there was sensitivity training. Okay, what is this? I had covered this. What is this?
IQ and
Intelligent
EQ.
quotient, IQ and EQ, emotional
What is EQ?
intelligence.
Let us forget intelligence question. What is EQ? All of us know.
Sensitiveness, yes, sensitiveness of the
When
cause
we
or
understand what is
authority
right,
towards.
let me complete. When we understand what is right and wrong, that is IQ. What is EQ?
When somebody can feel others' emotion.
And you're
The
missing out.
sensitiveness of the authority towards its or sensitiveness of the top level people towards its junior.
Madam, you have to be sensitive about with your colleagues also. Don't you
Yes,
think
sir.
so? Can I openly say that my colleague is an African, or I can use that some disgraceful derogatory language? Can I use? Am I not going to say? I can say ki, say Ram is my friend. Ram, if the person is from northeast, can I segregate that person and say no, that Ram guy, he resembles the Chinese? Can I segregate
No,
like that? No, I don't do
no,
that.
No,
sir,
sir.
no.
I have to understand that those things which are disgraceful things, I cannot do it. So I have to have that much understanding with myself. The training focuses on the attitudinal changes in the participants to create a better teamwork or a work environment. The global work environment where we are operating in a global scale, people from different parts of the world are coming here. What I find is disgraceful. Say, for example, I'm having one kind of a food. People, they have beef outside. If they come to India, they have their food. So I have to understand, I have to be, that understanding. And that particular person who's coming from outside has to understand that Indians, we are different in this particular case. So that particular person has to be sensitive towards our culture. When we go to their country, we have to be sensitive about their culture. Many of the people who are working in, say, for example, the number of migrant population from intellectual migrants from Asia, probably we are after China. And right now, people who are living abroad, they have to be sensitive to the culture where they are moving to. Otherwise, they can't. I cannot segregate someone. Why? Once I have an understanding of who I am working with, who all and what are their aspirations. I understand a person may be from a different cultural background. A person may have a different educational background. I cannot segregate them. See, a person doing some kind of a mistake, a person who's aggressive on the job, still I have to cooperate with that person on a daily basis. So what I do is either I am going to compromise on my values and my ego, or some kind of a training is to be provided. When we are operating in a larger scale, organization basically aim to create an environment where such kind of issues are addressed, or the issue is nipped at the bud, or it is not grown. We will nip it at the bud so that the problem is again addressed. There will be no issue at the end. The starting point post the training will be again zero. You develop your own interpersonal skills with the fellow members with whom you are working with. Clear? Clear?
Okay, sir.
Sir, it is clear. Then what is the differences between sensitivity training and T group training? Both are
It is the
same
same
or
thing,
is
sir. It is the
same
same
thing?
thing.
Okay.
The slide has portrayed it in the same, but the concept is the same thing. It doesn't have anything else. I'm just covering it for better understanding. T group processes concentrate on the present to the total exclusion of the past, and participants are in the act of observing while participating. The participants are in the act of observing while participating. Basically means we are, observing where the issues are, as well as we are taking an active role in that exercise. Why we are observing? Because we have to learn on our own behavior modification. Howsoever we are going to learn, if it is not innate in nature, if the push is not innate in nature, I cannot develop. While imparting feedback to T group training, following points must be kept in mind by whom? By the observer, by the trainer, so on and so forth. It should be honest, state it in behavioral terms. It should be descriptive, not evaluative. Why descriptive? Because we have to say how a person is reacting to a situation, how a person is reacting to say, because everything is to be related, or everything is to be transferred to real time learning. So transfer training has to be done. So if I'm going to give just though you are behaving incorrectly, or this is not the way to do it. So what is the proper way? If the trainer is not providing that much data, then the trainee or the learner will not be able to rectify the mistake that is being done. Keep it timely. It should be based on behavior exhibited within the group and not on assumptions. So I cannot assume that a person is an overall bad person based on the behavior displayed. No, I cannot jump to conclusion, but I can only uh, say that person's behavior in this particular situation is not acceptable. So all these kind of conclusions I can provide only based on the training period. It should be constructive. Delivery skills and program management, that you will learn, because this is not not required. E-training. What is e-training? Currently, what we are undergoing.
Online training.
So that is
Electronic.
yes, that is electronic training. But right now we are also undergoing e-training. This method of training helps the trainer to reach many people. At the same time, it is widely used to impart knowledge-based training programs. So I am providing you knowledge-based training program. E-learning has helped the organization to reduce cost, reach many people, and reduce wastage of traveling time. I do not want my friends who are outside Odisha or outside Bhubaneswar to travel. We can meet each other daily through internet. That is the way we are going to, we are one of the most effective way of providing learning and training. Mostly the training is done through the medium. This medium is knowledge-based training that was previously imparted by classroom lecture methodology has now become e-training. So most of the higher education, things that can, or higher skill-based learning can or is happening through online training or e-training. With the ongoing expansion of the internet and the advances made in the communications technology, distance training or e-training is fast becoming a feasible possibility for both learning establishment and the business world. Why business world? Because people, so for example, most of us know who are working professionals that to acquire certain certificate degree from Google, Google provides them. There are certain big shot companies who are also providing technical skills. A 40-hour, 60-hour crash course kind of a training program is provided by. So everything, this kind of learning or this kind of knowledge enhancement, training is only through online training, and it is the best way for business of people who are operating in the businesses. They are going to work in the job. They're going to take 1 hour or 2 hours of training in the evening, and then they're going to next day again go back to job. So earlier, what was there? What provides or what is the benefit out of it? I am doing my job as well as I'm learning. So my work is addressed. I'm earning money. I'm not wasting my time is being effectively utilized. I would not say wasting, but my time is effectively utilized where I am learning and I am also earning. Next is e-training rapidly becoming a great interest not only to higher education establishment whose students may travel long distances to attend teaching, but also to businesses who stand to save huge amounts of money. Okay, some demerits. The quality and overall effectiveness of distance learning and training will rely heavily on the method and efficiency of actual delivery. So when we are teaching through online mode, people will judge us, or even the trainees will judge us how effectively we are penetrating their minds and establishing the concept which is the establishing the learning or transfer of learning is done from the trainer to the training, and that judgment is basically feedback. So once we are going to, or rather when we are effective, or a person or the process of e-learning is effective, then we will say yes, the outcome or the cost saving is done. But if there is a negative feedback, then we are going to see to it where there is a issue, and we are going to again come up with better instructors, the better way of delivering the service. Currently, e-learning, e-training market Currently, e-trading market is small, but it is growing rapidly. The first instances of off-the-shelf trading schemes are beginning to crop up. So, as I mentioned earlier, Google and some of the big companies, they are providing certificate programs, be it in digital marketing, be it in AI skills, be it in so on and so forth. So, um, e-training might not be based upon the use of a particular software. It may develop a genre of packages which will become the norm, or bundled services package as we are providing in the services area. Once you go to movie, you are going to get a popcorn free. So bundled services thing. Education is also getting bundled packages. So we are going to either, if we are going to do MBA, we are going to provide you with some programming skills, or some once you're going to do research, when we are going to provide you certificate degree in Python, so on and so forth. Those are bundled things. E-training, the top e-learning often used as a buzzword when talking about distance training and learning implies that the use of online technology for the academic and educational purposes, as does the term distance learning. So defining success in e-training, this you will do on your own.
Sir, kindly explain the page of the self training.
Which one? This one?
Previous slide. Demerits in the demerit stage of the self training schemes. Past instances of the self training schemes.
This one.
Yes, yes.
This is not a demerit. This is just an explanation. This is the demerit. Quality and overall effectiveness of distance learning and training will rely heavily on the method and efficiency of actual delivery. You are going to judge us if my teaching is effectively understood by the masses who is attending my teaching class. That is the only thing. But then again, the slide says the e-training market is small, but it is growing rapidly. I gave an example of Google. Should I show it to you, or do you know that Google provides training in AI, so on and so forth? Certificate
Yes,
program.
yes, I know.
So those who are not aware, kindly be aware that there are companies like Google, companies like other say Mahindra, TCS, so on and so forth, who are providing certain online training programs, digital marketing courses, artificial intelligence courses, courses on managing big data, so on and so forth. 3 months to 6 months course. Certificate programs are provided. So that right now it is a small market. Online learning market. That is what it is saying. Currently the e-training market is small, but it is growing. Okay? Or you still don't understand?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Outbound learning. This is the most sought after method of training these days. Under this method, trainees are taken away to a place from usual working environment, places where the trainees are made to play games. These helps a person to internalize or a SWOT analysis of the self. The whole program internalize the whole training program as he experiences most of the learning. The person learns from seeing other people, learns from feedback, and since the person has a chance to apply learning, there itself he internalizes. What is internalizing? The word internalize the whole training program. No?
Integrating someone with the internal environment of an organization.
Internalize the whole training program basically means I become a part of the training program. I feel that the training program, the outcome, when I'm made to play different games, when there is a group activity, I am actually learning a lot. I take my fellow subordinates to a hike in the mountains. I take my fellow subordinates to a beach volleyball program in Pune, so on and so forth. I can take them to Bhitarkanika for a excursion, so on and so forth. So in that informal setup, whatever the person is learning via development of informal groups, it helps to develop group dynamics better in the formal environment. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes.
Have you all understood or is there a problem? Should I explain this again? Should I explain this again? Are you guys clear with this? Yes or
It's
no?
clear, it's clear, sir.
A facilitator watches then play. A facilitator watches and then play and observe the training behavior in the group and individual. The trainer gives feedback to each of the trainee and helps them to connect with the learning of the corporate world. So here outbound training is different from management games because there can be various games. You must have seen viral videos of going on in different offices. When I whisper something in somebody's ear, that person is going to transfer what has been what is the message. So basically, when there is a lot of people and the outcome is again heard. So say I will say ki, today The training session is for behavioral development. I am going to communicate this message to somebody else in their ears. If there are a lot of people standing next to us, most of 50 people are there. The person who is at the end has to loudly speak out what the message was. So eventually, the message, will it remain the same? In those viral videos,
No.
most of the time, those messages are completely different. Why it happens? Or why this kind of training is provided? What is the aim of such kind of exercise?
Get some idea about the training.
Get some idea about the training. Here the basic objective is information is provided to a person and it is to be communicated. The last person, who's the 50th person, is going to speak the message out. What is the purpose?
To be acquainted with the work, to be
To trust
acquainted with
each other, madam. To trust each other. If I can communicate effectively with my colleagues, if my message is clear enough, then the message forwarded is going to be crystal clear. Because the process of communication, there often is a factor, that is a factor of ambiguity. That ambiguity comes when I do not clearly listen to the message and the message itself is not clear. Plus, there are a lot of distractions. When I'm relaying the message, why it is crucial to the working of the day-to-day or in the businesses? Because a timely decision is going to save the company cost, a lot of investment, or it is going to save money. But whereas if my communication is not effective enough, I'm going to lose out a lot on, say, on information because the message has been distorted. So outward learning again aims to develop better group dynamics, better interpersonal ability, better communication. Next, moving on, sensitivity training. Again, this I have covered. I don't want to cover again. Fishbowl exercise method is used in providing skills in understanding human behavior. The objectives are to inculcate the participants the discipline of observing others and provide constructive, objective feedback. Kindly read this line again, or I am reading it again. To inculcate in the participant. What is inculcate? To induce, to develop the participants the discipline of observing others and provide constructive and objective feedback. So you have to have the patience of listening and observing. When I have the patience of listening, I learn a lot. When I observe a lot, I learn a lot. To learn about oneself and to overcome the weaknesses and improve upon strength. This can be put to effective use in individual. Fishbowl, remember, is not always individual, but a group behavior, content of communication, intergroup conflicts, content of information. The example which I gave over, information, if distorted in an organization, leads to the loss of the organization. Intergroup conflicts. A particular group is having an issue. So the group is being put in a fishbowl. Fishbowl is a closed environment where people are, left and they have to interact with each other. You interact with your fellow group members. If there is shouting, please shout. Forget everything. Then the end of the thing is you have to come out with some kind of a compromise because it should not be reflective in the job. Next is level up. Kindly give me 1 minute. Okay, moving on. The method of
Sir,
conduct.
Sir, feasible exercise is not clear, sir.
I'm again going to let's go to how the method is or the exercise is done. Exercise can involve up to 25 participants seated in concentric circles or one circle in between and in the middle and the other circle is outside. The inner circle is the target group. The members of this group discuss a pre-selected topic. After the discussion by members of the inner group, the target group means the group where there is issues related to communication, issues with one another, interpersonal issues, so on and so forth. So this is one circle. Okay, sorry. This is one circle, then this is another circle. This is the target circle. This is the observer circle. The outer circle is where the observers are sitting. Is this clear? Is this clear or not? Is this visible or not?
No, sir.
No, sir.
This is clear. This is a inner circle.
Yes, yes, yes.
Outer circle.
Yes, sir.
Inner circle is where the group who is having or who is to be trained. Is the inner circle is the trainee circle. Outer circle is the observer circle. Am I clear? Representatives of HR department, functional heads, anybody who can provide feedback related to how smoothly a work can be done, how to ease the issues in the inner group. Those people, those experienced people are sitting in the which circle?
Outside, sir.
Outside circle. So coming back to the slide. The inner circle is the targeted members of this group discuss a pre-selected topic. After the discussion by members of the inner group, the outer group is asked to comment on the content, dynamics, and group processes of the inner group. So, feedback of the work or feedback about the inner group is provided by the outer group people. It is based on the observations, and that is how the inner group is going to resolve the conflicts. If there's an issue in coming to a conclusion about a particular topic is observed, then the outer group is going to provide you with the feedback. The trainer must set the pace for uninhibited participation. Uninhibited means I cannot sit back and say, "Nee, let the others do the job." No, there has to be active participation. Everybody has to contribute. So based on the activity performed by me, see, I may be a timid person, I am an introvert, I may not be actively participating in some days. But once I am encouraged to participate based on what issues I may face or based on the answers which I'm providing, based on my body language, the observers who are sitting in the outside circle are going to provide, feedback to me. So that is a learning for me. Is feasible? Okay, understood. Have you guys understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The trainer must set the pace for uninhibited participation from the inner group members while they are being closely observed by the members of the outside group. Role of the trainer, kindly go through this on their own. This is the end. Today I'll start, but today there is no time. But anyways, I'll start. Slide visible to all?
Yes,
Is
sir.
slide visible to all?
Yes, sir. Visible,
Okay.
sir.
Training aids or deliverables. Training aids are used to help the trainer to make the audience understand the concept. A person in a classroom environment with a whiteboard needs, or a teacher needs a whiteboard, a teacher needs a marker, a teacher needs to provide students with a set of handouts so that the concept is clear. Those are deliverables. A person providing teaching through presentation needs OHP. Students in the classroom need to learn through overhead projectors. Right now it is redundant, only the general electronic projectors are there. Okay, so all these are known as deliverables. What is training aid? It helps or enhances the experiences, and it helps the trainers to develop better value to the training. Why? Because I'm providing something more rather than just providing the knowledge to my students or providing them something. A person who is being trained on a particular skill set, say in IT sector, without your equipment, without the software, can the knowledge happen? No, it is not going to happen. Development of a say a machine operator is provided training. If the machine itself is not available, what kind of training is provided? I cannot just say in the हवा में मैं नहीं बोल सकता कि नहीं you switch that particular thing on. That is how the machine is going to operate. Here from this particular place, you pick up the raw material, you deliver it over there, so on and so forth. I cannot say like that. There has to be concrete evidence or machinery or equipment or handouts whereby that enhances the overall learning experiences. Of whom? Of whom? Who is learning?
Training.
Very good. At least one of you is active. Training aids are used to help those trainers to make the audience understand the concept, to support the learning activities, which make the training program successful. Next is why training aids are you training aids are used. Our training aids are useful to facilitate different learning styles. What are the different learning styles? Anybody? On the job, off the job, classroom, so on and so forth. Reinforce what you are saying and summarize key concepts. What is reinforcement?
To
What is
introduce
It's
something,
like
sir.
it's like providing some examples based on the training.
reinforce? What is this?
Evidence like
Summarize.
Application.
Reinforcing is basically what I have been teaching you or what is being said.
Summarizing.
Let me complete. That is again being fed to you in a concrete manner. How? When you are provided with handouts. I introduce a case to you, I provide a handout to you about a particular case. So that is reinforcing the learning which is happening. So that way, the person or the trainee is again understanding that what the trainer has said is being again provided with some concrete idea or concrete evidence with me that is tangible. I can see it. Clear? Reinforcement theory, there is a reinforcement theory which states that whatever is being learned, it has to be displayed or transfer of training is to be done. It is basically reinforcement is a theory in HRM where we are basically, modifying behavior. When we are talking about in terms of organizational behavior, reinforcement basically is a way to develop better attitudes in employees. So that was earlier a a person who was earlier punished, if the person is being provided with better attitudinal training and it is shown, then that is reinforcement. Ensure that your point is understood, signal what is important and essential, enable trainees to experience something that is impractical to do in real life. What is this point? Enable trainees to experience that something is impractical to do in real life. In training aids, what is this line? Who can explain?
So it is one type simulation. The simulation can be taken as like that enable you experiencing something that is impractical to do.
Can you explain how in detail? Can you explain in detail with an easier example so all of us can understand?
I think, sir, that pilots are trained with storm situation and thunder situations. All these situations can be taken only in simulation mode.
Okay, anything else? So what is impractical to do in life is basically means when, as one of your good friends said, that the pilots are provided with simulation training. So they are prepared to address all real life situations, and they are also taught what are things not to do in different situations. So those are impractical, or that is not what is required of a particular person in a pressure situation, which is not expected out of a particular person. So it is impractical to do in real life. When in certain situation, we have to let go of what generally we do. We have to come up with something extraordinary. Next is engage or stimulate train other senses in learning process. What are what other senses are stimulated?
It's a good communication skill.
When providing training aids.
No.
Think about an equipment. What
Sir,
are the senses?
sensing like, sir, a situation where you have to observe the temperature condition, pressure condition, and
So
like that.
that is there, but what sense? What other things are being stimulated in you? First, I'm observing something. I am excited. I am a tangible machinery is kept in front of me. That is again, creates an excitement, a positive frame of mind. A person who is willing to learn will obviously display some kind of a positive frame of mind. So, a equipment, a machinery, a tool, or a book which is provided to you. Most of us, without a book, we feel we are not able to, or we are blank. When we are provided with something, that becomes a basis for us to, refer to. That is my reference guide. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Next is instructional and training aids must be well prepared, because if the instructions are easy to understand, the trainees will follow it. If it is a too complicated process, you the trainees will themselves get confused and they will get bored. So easy and simple instructions are to be provided in the training aid for learning. Well presented, so it has to be again seen that the simple instructions are arranged in a sequential manner. Say, for example, to learn a particular software, a book is provided and it is well written in simple words where the trainee can understand. The trainee also follows the sequence in a very good way. So step one, so step two, I have to do all these things. Next is it should be readable, legible. Legible means clear. visible to all, appropriate format for room and audience size. So when I'm presenting this particular slide, take for example, in this particular slide, if the font size is less than what is or whatever it is now, and it will not be legible for all of us to see it, and it has to be appropriate for the room size. Had it been a classroom teaching, I had to again adjust according to the room size as well as the strength of the audience. Next is relevant, pertinent to the topic or what I am teaching. The training or the material has to be again relevant to teaching. I am teaching you training and development. If I am talking about something else, then that is not relevant to the topic. I may put forth some examples, relate some other fields, and come to the again my topic. I cannot start with MTD, end with HRG, and move on to marketing. No, that I cannot do. Up to date. When data is to be provided, that has to be again up to date. Up to date data will provide the trainees with what is happening currently, the current situation. So, for example, in the area of research, today we will stop here. I'll just explain this and we'll stop. So, when in the research area, most of the observations which is to be done, those are basically from, say, for example, I am going to present a paper that reference point, the previous theories has to come from 2023 or 2022 or 2021. I cannot go back to 2000, 2001 or 5 and say that so and so had stated this in their paper. No, I cannot do that. That is if in if in those situations the theory has been proposed. So, for example, I have proposed the theory in 2001 and that is globally accepted and cited. That only is going to be provided. Hence, up-to-date data about a particular training program about the relevant topic which is being taught to our trainees, that is to be provided by the trainer. Say, for example, a particular software has integrated or come up with new features. So that what is the new thing? What is the new thing which the trainees are going to learn? That is to be provided. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.